look like I made money, but I didn't. And I was so stupid. Oh, I was so dumb. Come join me in this crap fest and watch me burst into flames for my stupid choices in life. Hey to all you lovely people out there, and welcome to my channel where I talk about living in Japan on the JET program, traveling, and finance. Because I think investing in finance is important for everyone. Mostly we're not taught it in schools, so we're expected to learn on our own. And in addition, it's especially important for people who live abroad like me because we have less opportunities to invest and save for retirement. So it's especially crucial for expats, immigrants, and people who want to try to preserve their wealth. So in this video, I want to talk about a pretty big mess up that I did. It was really stupid, actually. It was really dumb. I'm going to be talking about the stockbroker that I used and how I thought I was gaining money when I sold stocks, but I actually lost about $550. And that might sound kind of confusing. It kind of is, but I'll go over what I did, the mistake I made, how you can avoid that mistake, tips on how to invest and do it with the right way, with the right mentality, and just overall concepts behind what I did and why you just shouldn't do it. So I'm going to talk about FIFO or FIFO, I don't know how you pronounce it, and LIFO or Lifo. And this, in regards to investing, means first in, first out for FIFO, and last in, first out for Lifo. I don't know if they're actually called FIFO or Lifo. It sounds like a Pokemon or something, but whatever. We'll just get over that. So FIFO, essentially when you buy a stock or some sort of equity or something, the acronym stands for first in, first out. So the first one you buy, if you picture them as little chunks, the first one you buy will be the first one that you sell. And it's important to know the price of that stock that you bought it at. Each stock has its own little price. So you need to watch that and compare that to the price of it now, which is something I didn't do, and again cost me about $500. So let's try to avoid the dumb things that I do. Hopefully my dumb things can help people. And so again, Lifo, that is last in, first out. So you can guess if FIFO is first in, first out, Lifo is going to be last in, first out. So that would be the most recent thing that you bought would be also the first that you sell. Whereas in, first out, the oldest stock or the oldest option that you bought would be the first one that you sell. So it's basically digging into the back of your stock inventory or going from the front. Yeah. So what I did is I bought about 5 shares of stock B, we'll call it stock B. And I bought it quite a while ago in about 2017 or 2018. And it was roughly $300. I bought more over the course of the years, but I bought primarily most of mine in 2020, maybe another 25 shares of stock B in 2020 when the price was quite low. So I have 5 shares of stock B from 2018-ish for about $300, and then I have about, what was that, 25 at about $100 in 2020. So I hold them. And then in 2022, I start to notice, many of you also may have noticed, that stocks started to drop in 2022. Interest rates are starting to rise because of inflation in the United States, so that's causing the price of stocks to drop. And I saw that, and my monkey brain was like, oh, stop. They're dropping the prices. I don't like this. I don't like that at all, so I'm going to sell to try to lock in some of my wealth, basically. And there's multiple issues with me doing that and jumping into that. I'll go into that a bit later. So I sold about 5 shares of stock B, and the current price at that time was about $200. But when I looked on my stockbroker in the little column of how many stocks I had, you know, it says 25 stocks, it's in the green, it's like plus $2,500. So I saw the green and I saw 25 stocks and I thought, oh, great. You know, I'm in the green on all of the stocks, so I can sell them and just reap in my profits. But that is not true. I sold 5 stocks of it and I thought, oh, awesome, great. Okay, I got, I locked in, 5 stocks at 200, so about $1,000. And then I look to my gains and it's negative. And I'm like, why? Why is this negative? And it turns out that the broker that I used, so I used TD Ameritrade, and the broker that I used applied FIFO or FIFO, which means it sold the first stocks that I bought. It sold the first ones. So I sold 5 stocks that I bought at $300 in 2018 for $200 in 2022. So jumping into that and just assuming all my stocks were in a net positive, because the average little bar thing that it shows your net gain, but your net gain does not mean all of your stocks are in the green. So I sold it and then I was like, it looked like I made money, but I didn't, and that was so stupid. Oh, I was so dumb. So it's very easy to fall into too if you kind of snap and just kind of emotionally sell like that. So in short, I just bought stocks at a higher price in the past, looked at the average of how much they brought in, saw that that was positive, sold stocks, and then didn't realize the first of the stocks were actually quite higher priced than the current stock price. So I lost about $500. So don't do that. That was just bad. So there are a lot of ways you can avoid that. First of all, a lot of people say to not panic buy or sell, or emotionally buy or sell. And just from what I've seen, I think that is good advice. I sold just because, I was getting upset by the prices falling, and you can see how that ended. That did not end well. So usually it's good to try to remove your emotions from your investments and look at it from a logical standpoint. And also just know what you're selling, know exactly what you're doing. So my mistake was that I, again, looked at my overall net gain, which is positive, but that's because the very, very cheap ones I got in 2020 were kind of carrying my rest of the stocks to give me an average net positive, but that does not mean all of your stocks are in the green. And if you do sell them with FIFO, then you might lose out, even though it appears you wouldn't. So look at the individual prices of your stocks that you bought them for. Look at your broker. Know which way you're selling. Know if it's FIFO. Know if it's LIFO. Know exactly which of those stocks you're going to sell. Because they're not the same price, and just assuming they are is dangerous, as I found out. And lastly, just educate yourself. Just try to educate yourself, and don't make snap decisions like that. Because again, like I said before, emotional and snap decisions like that with investing usually seem to not yield good results. So just try to stay calm and know exactly what you're doing, because it is very easy to slip up with investments and things like that. So hope you can avoid things like that. I think standard online brokers, they typically use FIFO. I use TD Ameritrade and they defaulted to FIFO. So hopefully that can help you. Hopefully you can learn from my giant negligence. But every day is a learning experience. So my dad just told me that it's like a $550 class on finance and on managing my monkey brain. So hope that can help you guys out there. If you have any other finance topics or anything you're interested in, feel free to drop it in the comments and let me know your finance goals. You want to live in another country? Are you just living in your own country now and trying to build your wealth? I want to hear it. And make sure to tune in next Thursday where I talk about how to start an investment account in Japan called NISA. Till next time, we'll see you around.
Momo-chan desu.